admit, it's not entirely unpleasant seeing you again.
I want to start with fucking awesome. Like the first two episodes are awesome. Fans are gonna love it. Charlie, I got to start with you first. What was it like for you? The show gets reworked. You're coming back. It's being figured out. What was it like for you when you get episode 1 and you're like, in the first 15 minutes, we're going to kill off one of the trio, and I'm going to be filming an insane crazy fight sequence.
Yeah, it's this fight sequence I can handle emotionally and physically. The fight sequence, like I read it, it's so cool. I know Phil Silvera is going to just knock it out of the park. We've been on a 6-year hiatus. We want to come back with a bang. We want to get people excited. The tougher pill to swallow is what happens to my dear best friend. And I don't know that I'll ever quite come to terms with that. Both Matt and Charlie, Foggy Nelson is one of the heartbeats of the MCU. I don't know quite how you have a Matt Murdock or a Daredevil without him. Elden's done such a beautiful job with that character over the years. I'm gutted, man. I'm gutted about it, truly. What I will say is that we needed something big. We wanted to rock the boat a little bit and put the fans in a state of discomfort and offer a catalyst for everything going forward. Matt Murdock will never be the same again. The show will never be the same again. And it's a big choice, and it's going to be. There's some good things about it, and there's a lot we've lost.
Yeah, I was stunned when it all went down because I was stunned. But Vincent, I definitely have to ask you, with Kingpin, a lot of people are going to want to know when he goes to be mayor, because he could either be doing this for good to really be helping the city, and he could also be doing it to enrich himself and just gain more power. What do you want to tease about Kingpin's arc?
He's the mayor, but he's never not Kingpin.
Cool.
So you can imagine what that means.
That's cool.
I will only the only thing I would say, which I've been saying, is that if you looked at him as a vampire trying to live in the daylight, which is impossible, I think he's sort of in that situation where it's a real struggle for him to be out in the daylight doing what he's doing. And that's going to pay its toll in a way.
One of the things about Kingpin is that the only person who has absolute sort of control over him is Vanessa. What do you think it is about Vanessa that can reduce Wilson to someone else?
Because she's in love with him and he's in love with her. And like any coupling or partnership, it's an intense thing. I mean, you pretty much live, if you could, in my opinion, you should only end up with somebody you trust, and he trusts her incredibly so. And I think that what she says, he listens to, and vice versa, I think.
Charlie, the thing about what I love about episode 2 and the ending is that he spent a year being a regular person. And it's only when he's threatened by being, possibly killed that his inner demon reemerges. And I think a lot of people are going to want to know, is this the beginning of Daredevil coming back, or is this the beginning of him trying to balance both sides of himself, if you know what I mean?
It's whatever that is, it's a never-ending battle. It will never. I don't think there is a happy medium for him to ever find. And I think what's becoming clear to Matt is that the awareness of that idea is that if he decides or tries to deny one part of himself, he may be successful on the surface, but fundamentally he cannot change who he is, and who he is two people essentially. So I would say that what happens at the end of 2 is kind of a hybrid, because he's not suiting up. He's not going out looking for trouble. He is responding to a threat, and he's fighting for his life. The problem is when Matt Murdock fights for his life, it looks and feels a lot like Daredevil, and it's probably the small catalyst that will take us to him refinding the darker self that Fisk so rightly points to.
My last question for you guys. I know you start filming part 2. I don't know if it's season 2 or part 2. I don't know the terminology.
Season 8.
But it's this Friday. I heard it's 8 episodes, and I'm just curious, how many of the scripts have you read, and what excites you about this part 2 side of the series?
So I've read 6 of 8. And I honestly, and I'm not the kind of, I don't normally say this kind of thing. I always like err on the side of caution. It's some of my favorite stuff I've read of Daredevil. We've got Dario Scardapane, who was brought in to kind of pivot the show back in at the beginning of 2024. Who ended up writing the pilot and the last 2 episodes of this season that's coming out. And what he's done so far with this new season is so cool and so different and so sinister, and I'm really, really excited about it.
Vincent,
what's the question?
How do you feel about how many episodes have you read of the one we're about to shoot?
Yeah, I've read the same amount as Charlie, 6, and it's. I love where it's going. It's going to be quite something by the end of it. By the end of the next season, by the end of season 2, there's something quite amazing I feel like is going to happen. I mean, we've both talked to Dario about the other half of it, but we're not completely clear on it. We haven't read the scripts yet, but they're going to be delivered, and we're going to read them. But I do have an idea of some of the details of what's going to happen midway through and past, and it's intense. It's quite something. I like Charlie just said, I wouldn't say that unless I felt it. It's sort of like, knowing it's going to be a lot of work. We have a lot of work ahead of us. Yeah. It's going to be emotional and very and full of physical altercations. I don't know what to say, but it's gonna be a crazy season.
To wrap again, gentlemen, congrats! It's fantastic.
Steve, thank you so much, man. We appreciate your enthusiasm always.
Thanks, man.